For most of our lives, we've been told the North Pole is simple, just ice, a frozen wasteland, nothing there. And yet, when you actually look closer, something doesn't sit right, because throughout history, the North Pole has never been treated like nothing. It has been sacred, restricted, mythologized, and strangely removed. Tonight, I want to explore a question most people never think to ask. What if the North Pole isn't empty, but erased? Long before satellites, before global navigation systems, before modern science, cartographers believed something very specific existed at the top of the world. They called it Rupes Nigra, the Black Rock, a towering magnetic mountain at the center of the Earth, surrounded by 4 massive rivers or currents flowing inward toward the pole. This wasn't a fringe idea. It appeared on some of the most influential maps in history, including those created during the 1500s, the age of exploration when empires were racing to define the world itself. According to these maps, the North Pole was not a void. It was a center, a structure, a source of magnetism. And then something happened. At some point in history, detailed descriptions disappeared. The mountain vanished, the rivers vanished, and in their place, ice, blankness, a white circle with no features. And that raises an uncomfortable question. Why would early map makers with less technology show more detail, while modern maps show less? If you open Google Maps today and scroll to the North Pole, what do you see? Not cities, not terrain, not resolution. You see blur. You see emptiness. You see nothing. Yet remote deserts, jungles, and mountain ranges across the planet are mapped down to individual rocks. Everywhere else, the map sharpens as technology improves. At the pole, it dissolves. We're told this is normal. We're told it's just ice. But history tells a different story. For centuries, civilizations believed the world had an axis, a central pillar around which everything moved. The ancients called it many names: the world mountain, the cosmic tree, the axis mundi. In nearly every culture, that axis pointed north, not east, not west, north, the fixed point in the sky, the unmoving star, Polaris. The idea wasn't that the Earth was flying through infinite space, but that the realm itself was organized, structured, and circulating around a center. And this is where the old maps become fascinating, because the 4 rivers shown flowing toward Rupes Nigra, mere ancient stories found across civilizations, the 4 rivers of Eden, the 4 streams of the world, the 4 directions converging at a source. Water doesn't just move randomly, it circulates. Tides rise and fall. Currents spiral. Ice accumulates in rings. What if the polar ice isn't proof of emptiness, but evidence of structure? What if ice is not the wilderness, but the boundary? Now here's where the myth enters, not as fantasy, but as signal. Why has the North Pole always been wrapped in story? Why is it home to gods, guardians, kings, watchers, and yes, even Santa Claus? Think about that. Santa doesn't live in the desert. He doesn't live on the equator. He lives at the North Pole, at the center, at the top of the world, watching everything. That myth didn't come from nowhere. Myths aren't created to deceive children. They are created to preserve ideas that can't be spoken plainly. Stories survive where facts are forbidden, and the North Pole has always been forbidden. No civilian access, no free exploration, no transparency. We're told it's for safety, for science, for protection. But the question remains, if there is truly nothing there, why protect it so aggressively? Why did early maps show a mountain and modern maps show a void? Why is the most symbolically important place in human history also the least visible? Power has always understood something most people forget. Control the map, and you control reality. Empires don't just conquer land, they define what exists. They decide what is named, what is reachable, what is real, and what is declared empty. History is full of lands labeled uninhabitable until someone wanted what was there. Gold, trade routes, strategic positions, Greenland, the Arctic, the poles. These are not random places. They are choke points, centers of navigation, centers of magnetism, centers of power. So tonight, I'm not telling you what exists at the North Pole. I'm asking something far more dangerous. Why are we discouraged from even wondering? Why are ancient depictions dismissed as fantasy while modern blanks are treated as truth? Why is the question itself considered taboo? Because sometimes the greatest deception isn't a lie. It's an eraser, a white space on a map, a silence where a mountain once stood. Rupes nigra may not be a literal black rocks rising from the sea, or it might be something far stranger, a symbol, a structure, a memory of how this realm was once understood. What matters is this: the North Pole has always been more than ice, and the moment we stop asking why is the moment we forget who we are, where we live, and how deeply the world has been shaped by those who draw the maps. This isn't the end of the story. It's the center.